Hey, so good news for owners of the Peloton tread. Peloton has basically begun to add running PowerZone classes, though technically they are calling them pace target classes. So today I want to cover a bit about what those classes are, how they are similar and different than PowerZone classes on the bike, and some of my general thoughts. And while I do, let me know in comments what you think about these pace target classes as well. So the big difference with these classes is that instead of an instructor calling out specific goal paces, with pace target classes, they will call out one of 7 zones, referring to them as recovery, easy, moderate, challenging, hard, very hard, and max. So already you can see how this is very similar to PowerZone classes, except in those classes, the instructors just call out zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. So with these pace target classes, the wording has changed a bit, but it's essentially the same. And the 7 zones for the pace target classes line up pretty much with traditional PowerZone targets. Now, in terms of the pace targets for each of these zones, they are personalized based on the difficulty level you select, ranging from 1 being the easiest to 10 being the most difficult. And this is the biggest difference between these pace target classes and PowerZone classes because they seem functionally the same in many ways. Though here you get to choose your difficulty for pace targets, whereas in PowerZone classes, it's all based off a 20-minute FTP test that you need to take. And I think Peloton went this route for a few reasons. One being that I think Peloton wants to replace most classes over time with these pace targets as they do on all of their rowing classes, just because it makes a lot more sense and makes all of the classes a lot more scalable for anybody taking them. And I don't think they want all of their classes to be considered PowerZone classes, especially since, as I'll discuss in a second, these pace target classes don't necessarily follow training principles that you would expect from traditional PowerZone sessions yet. Another reason I think Peloton is not going to label these as PowerZone classes is I'm not sure they want members taking 20-minute maximal tests on the tread. I mean, the last thing they want is for more people to get injured on these treads given their history. And so I think they might just want to avoid that altogether. And so basically have PowerZone training, but a more subjective version that doesn't require you to take an all-out test. But either way, when I took Matt Wilper's introduction to pace target classes, it felt very much like when the instructors suggest power zones by feel for new members. And so in terms of how these zones are represented, it does seem very much the same. And you can definitely do your own sort of FTP test anyway, and using that information, you can pretty easily choose the correct difficulty level here, so not really a big deal that they aren't explicitly promoting that. Now, the one sort of bummer by Peloton not labeling these classes as power zone is that they also don't really define which zones are being covered in which class. So like with PowerZone classes on the bike, you have PowerZone Endurance, PowerZone, and PowerZone Max classes that you can sort through, and you know for the most part what is being developed in each of those. But on the tread, you have to sort of look at each class individually and check out the details to specifically see what that class is doing and make that assessment for yourself. So it takes a bit more time to choose a class if you care about what you'll be doing. And as of right now, there's no way to filter running workout types on the tread. So outside of finding the pace target classes in the collection, you might have to go digging for them or use the search bar if they add new ones in the future. The other sort of bummer is that out of the 14 or so classes they have put out, they are all pretty short. So those who really enjoy the 45-minute or longer PowerZone classes, which are really the ones I personally enjoy the most, they don't have anything like that up yet, though these are all still new, so hopefully more of them will be coming in the future. It does seem that Matt Wilpers is heavily involved with developing these, so I am hopeful they will be adding longer sessions soon. And personally, I think this is the best update to ever come to the tread, because while I do like the Peloton tread, I really don't like the class options that they offer compared to the bike, because I want smart, well-developed training that's personalized for my own ability. And so I've never really ever listened to what the instructors have suggested until checking out these classes. Assuming they add more and longer options to these pace target classes, I will definitely be spending more time taking Peloton classes on the tread should they come out. Anyways, those are my thoughts on these new classes on the Peloton tread. I'm very excited about them. Let me know if you are in the comments below. Appreciate you being here. This is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts, and I'll see you next time.